a journey. This is a journey. To let you know that I'm Christian, I'm married, and I have 4 kids. And this is quite a common presentation and a short presentation, but there was a day that I decided in a public event as a keynote speaker, not be presented as the president of this or vice president of that or executive direction or whatever, you know. And in that time, I decided that I should present myself based on my foundations. And I took a look, my foundations are these 3. With these 3 foundations, different foundations, I would be a different man. Worked as a consultant for 30 years, and I was a great consultant, let me tell you, because in 10 years, in a multinational called Acege, have you heard about that? I became a partner. So I was performing very well. I was happy with my results, but there was a shift in my life. And the shift was in the day that I decided to become a Christian leader. So I would like to thank Drago for being here, but I also would like to thank God for the opportunity that He gave me to not be just narrowed, focused on profit, on quarters, on financial results, on providing good projects to my clients, to have happy clients, but to have an extended footprint in my life as a leader. So, as a consultant, I will leave you with more questions than with results or answers. Sorry for that. But my first question is precisely, which are your footprints? In your last day, imagine your last speech that someone speaks about you. What would you like to be remembered by? A great businessman, developed the company, double the business, good results, profits. What else? What about your Christian perspective, your family perspective, your friends' perspective? All of this. I will speak a bit about this, and I will present examples from practice about a journey, okay? So, let's skip this because I'm short in time, and after we'll do this survey. My agenda is about 3 topics. Our mission as a starting point, how to move from a statement to a practice, and I'll give you some examples, and the final conclusion, okay? And I put every time a lecture here that inspires us. We are a privileged people in our world. We are really top people with top positions, with everything that we need to be happy. There's nothing missing. Probably our problem is that we have more than we need. And we need to put away those things that are not helping us to become happy people and to make others happy. So this is what Luke says in the gospel. Okay? We received a lot. So let's take a look on our mission, and I'm speaking about my organization mission, the Association of Christian Businessmen and Entrepreneurs. Okay? And our mission is quite simple. And I tell you that I have in my pocket a booklet to present to everyone that I meet with. When they ask me, what do you do? What's that for? Is that important? And I have this booklet. And this is our mission. To inspire leaders, business leaders, to live love and truth as a management criterion. And with it, transform the society. We will never transform the society deeply if we are not inspired to live these values. Probably in our schools, in the universities, this is so-called bonsai. Do you know what is bonsai? Those small values, small virtues, they will not grow significantly. But in fact, those values are absolutely critical in our mission as managers, as leaders, to transform our companies to transform ourselves, and then to transform the life of others and society. So, my major agenda will be to be focused on those two topics. Those are some of the Portuguese leaders. And here you have banking CEOs, vice presidents of motorway companies, you have entrepreneurs, you have consultants, all of them are leaders. Some are working for regulators. You have women, men, people from different ages. You have older people, ex-president, and younger people. Lots of people. And do you know why did I put this? Because all of them, they can tell this mission. Can your people spell the mission of your organizations? Can others spell your personal mission? Think about your personal mission. What is it? Which values are in your mission, in your personal mission? And all of these people, they have videos that we recorded, and they spell this mission. And the mission is the clue of our lives and our organization. Okay? So they trust in the banking sector that love and truth can be a management criteria. And they believe that with it, they can transform the society. Let's think a bit more about that. And from a statement to a practice, I will give you some examples. So let's divide into two. To inspire leaders to live love and truth as the first step, and then how to transform the society as the second one. And St. Paul says, but test everything, hold fast what is good. Do you know what we mean with this? Test everything. Be innovative. Be innovative about the way that you create your footprint. Think about new ways of being in life and to accomplish your mission. And at the end, use this criteria. State what is good. To inspire leaders to live love and truth as a management criteria. I have several topics. I will not spend time on all of them because I will skip the first one that was already presented by Kaya and Drago. But the sense of belonging on Unia Park. We have leaders worldwide in 39 countries thinking this way. They are bones from my bones, flesh from my flesh. They have a common sense of living love and truth and to be oriented by Christ. We developed a code of ethics for entrepreneurs and businessmen. We have our groups, our sharing groups called How to Be Christ in the Company. We have a company of prayer. I will skip this one. I send a message to Drago if he wants to spread out what does it. We addressed future generation challenges. I will speak later about that. And how to lead the leaders. Code of ethics for entrepreneurs and businessmen. What did we do? We define our major principles. And this code of ethics is precisely where we should be focused. Look to this. We define what is people dignity. And we explain what is it. It is not about professionals' dignity. It is about people. And people is much more than professionals. We work with employees, I know that. But as Christian leaders, we are working with people. They have families, they have dreams, they have thoughts, they have expectations. They want to be better people. How can we help them? And this is people dignity. Love as a criterion. I will not spend too much time on this. But let's look later about that. The corporation purpose. It was a significant change in my life. When I realized that corporations were not for profit. This is the narrow view, is to use that windows, those windows that are in the castles, you know, those narrow windows that we have in the castles. Profit, it is not the single measure of our corporations. We need to extend it. We need to think about economic value creation, which is much more than profit. We need to think about long-term, short-term, about how to distribute that value for others. We need to think about social value. How are we inside our boundaries, for our people, for the shareholders, for the leaders, for everybody creating value? What about the clients? What about the suppliers? What about society? What about the families? How are we contributing to have a greater Slovenia? What is our contribution? And that person, you meet with them every day in the morning in the mirror. Each of you. That changed a lot. What about market social economy? We need to put some words in those financial principles. We are not just speaking about market economy. We put social there. We are not just speaking about capitalism. We have to speak about conscious capitalism, which is completely different, which is broader, extending our perspective. We speak about personal and professional ethics. We do not have professional ethics. We have personal ethics. And those principles will be applied to our professional life. What we teach, we educate to our kids are the same principles that we put in place in our organization. We are not two different people. We are the same one. We are using the same credit of time, 24 hours per day, to use with the same frame of values and principles. Do you know why corruption happens? Because the character of the leader is weak, or because the leader uses different masks in different situations. As a father, I'm a kind person, or as a husband, but as a business leader, I'm quite efficient. I'm a top performer. And in society, I have a great image. And I'm using those different masks in different situations. That divides you. And after that, we can be corrupt. So use the same mask everywhere. And if possible, the Christian one, which is the best one. We speak about excellence at work. This is not putting social responsibility and people and so on without personal responsibility. We need to put personal responsibility in our people and to ask for excellence at work and ask them why we are not getting excellence at work. Do they have the means that they need to get it? We speak about common goods, good goods, good work, good wealth. And in our code of ethics, we speak about these three pillars. How do we see? With the same criteria, how do we see? How do we judge? And how do we act? An end-to-end perspective. And what happened in our life as business leaders is that we need to move from a paradigm to a paradox. You know where's our problem? Is that we are thinking about or. And we think about career or family. They are not compatible. We think about results or about people. They are not compatible. We think about short-term, quarter results, and long-term. They are not compatible. And this is our problem. We are every time excluding relevant things, and we should not be that way. So we look for a better model. Not a great model, but the one that is more fulfilling and impacting more. So we need for profits and people. How do we decide? There's a big tension over here. We need for professional and personal. We look for career and family. We put all together. It's not easy, my friends, but it's the best way. If we want to leave a really impact on this, we put short term and long term all together. Are we protecting both when we take a decision? Are we using the right criteria for this? And this is the point. And we need to make this shift in our life. And at the end of this, our former president launched a book. And he wrote precisely this book, Management, Love as a Management Criteria. If you want, you can take it and read it about it. Christ in the company groups. What's that? What's that? It's a long story. 10 years ago, starting with Zacchaeus, you know that one? From Luke 19, 1 to 10. Zacchaeus was a businessman, like we are. Not different. The famous tax collector. He could not meet Jesus because he was not tall enough due to the crowd. We have a crowd of problems that we are not seeing Jesus in our business life. He's not there. And then he stepped up the tree and looked to Jesus. And he said, Zacchaeus, come down. I want to be at your home. And those encounters with Jesus change our lives, really. And the point is that Zacchaeus took a nonsense business decision. I will give back 4 times from those that I took unrightly. I will give back 4 times. Not reasonable. Not reasonable. Not reasonable at all. But the encounters with Jesus are like this. And based on this, we 8 leaders and entrepreneurs met with a priest. And we didn't not know each other. I did not know any of them. And we start with our reasons by saying that I have a lot of work. I will not take my work away to be with you in such a group like this, speaking about things if we do not get results. My mental vision of businessman, we did it during our work day, not taking my family time, a dinner, or after work, or so on. No, in my work day. And we did this monthly with a priest. And this is quite important to have a priest in place here. I'll let you know later. So we create monthly meetings at work, not in the parish, not in the church, not in the society, not in the cafe. In our place where we take decisions. Our altar is our table where we take decisions. The sacrifices are there. When we take decisions for people or not for the people, for the business or not for the business. We are called to be saints there, not in the parish. There. 2/3 of our life will be for working. 2/3 of our life. If I put that away from my Christianity, from my faith, that means that I'm a part-time Christian, not a full-time Christian. It's a significant part of our life that I'm putting away. And do you know? Usually we say, I'm spending so much time. Oh, sorry, I'm spending more than expected. Sorry for that, but I'm patient about it. Something very curious. Jesus called his disciples at work. When they were working, not when they were praying or so on, working, using words that they could understand their mission. I'll take you, and I'll do it, a fisherman of people. So, going away. So what did we do? We create a method, and the method is putting together church documents with business documents. And we put together those documents from consulting companies, studies, from academy, universities, all of them, how to take decisions, how to create a greater footprint, and so on and so on and so on. So we took the social doctrine of the church with those management documents, we put it together. It creates a lot of tension. But it's the right way to create a common language and to understand where are we going to. And we look for a Christian perspective at work. Some topics, for example, which are our criteria for decisions? For instance, how to protect our people. How leading people with respect and dignity we can put in place in a practical way. Ambition, my ambition, and the options that I have in my career. How can I decide on this and balance? Can this love and true be a management criteria? How to make all of this possible in Caritas and Caritas? We spend every month 2 hours sharing altogether. Even an example. One day, the vice president of the biggest motorway company in Portugal arrived there and told us, stop the discussion. I have a board decision for my company that I need to fire 700 people, and the list is here. We are still firing people. This is not a sweet model. This is not easier than the older model. This is harder than the older one, because we need to take tough decisions. I have 700 people here from the tolls. I need to put technology, always technology. We never forget about technology, because if this is important for today, for tomorrow it's much more important. Due to the technology on the tolls, we need to fire 700 people. I have the list here. The top performers will stay in the company, and the others will be leaving. And then we decided how to retire some, pre-retire some, how to reconfigure others, but at the end the list should have 700 people. And then he took a tough decision, but quite an important decision, which is, I will not put in the poverty any family. That means that I will look personally to each of these 700 people if they have a wage, a salary in their family or not. And then he spoke with the unions altogether to decide. And with it, he took some people out of the list and he spoke with others to be on the list. Because if we have an unemployed person, he will be socially aware. But if we have a family without any wage, any earning, it is a nuclear potential for poverty. How do we care about the families that we have under our responsibility? And with it, no family went into thankfulness. We use always several sources of documents. As I said to you, I recommend some of these books, such as God at Work from Ken Costa, God is My CEO, Caritas and Caritas, as you know, and so on. So this is our Christ in Company groups. Let's see as an example. Can love be a management criteria? Yes or not? The problem is about the word love. What does that mean? If I ask each of you, we will get 20 different definitions of that. So let's take a look again to the source, the first letter of Corinthians. Love is patient, is kind, it does not envy, it is not proud. Let's take a look on a self-test. How does that work? We could do this self-test personally. How do we check each of this? Am I passionate? Yes, this is me. Or I need to work on this. I will ask for help. Because if we are specific on this, we starting a new way, absolutely different. Am I kind or not? Am I prideful or not? And so on, and so on, and so on. We can do this for the ambition. Am I happy with the others' results? Am I happy if I'm not the first one? We can do the same. You can take this from this book, Live Like Jesus, from a famous author. Okay? Another example. How do we prioritize those values? Wisdom, knowledge, successful track record, problem solving. Which are the most relevant for me? And compare with others. There was a person that had all of these values as a coacher. Would you select him? Would I select Jesus that has all of these values as my personal culture or not? Those are the kind of exercises that we do, putting all together. Our personal reality, our sins, our fragilities, our breaks, our mistakes, our errors with these realities. Okay? So who is my coach? And if you take a look, Jesus had all of these capabilities. He had a mission with non-perfect people, communicating clear purpose and direction, and so on, and so on, and so on. This is the leader of the leaders. If you want to be inspired by someone, this is the man, this is the person, this is the one. Okay? So, as a summary of this, we are called to become a community of disciples in a working pilgrimage. And we went last year to Holy Land, Altogether, with our bishop, which is over here. It is quite important for our bishops, our priests, that they are together with us in this way. Not apart, not away. We are learning with each other. They learn a lot with us, and we learn a lot with them. And we share different thoughts, different perspectives, but we walk the same way, walk the walk. Okay? In our association, we have 1,000 members. 1,000 members. And 300 of these 1,000 members belong to these sharing groups. They are deeply committed with this. Lead the leaders. The quality of your leadership will be the leaders that you are nurturing, that you are training, taking care of. This is quite difficult for a leader, in particular if we are developing a better leader than ourselves. But we need to nurture others to become better than ourselves. How do we lead the leaders? This is not about leading people, neither leading ourselves, the first step of a leader, neither leading a team. It is to nurture a leader and to train and to manage and to develop the leader. How do we do that? We have specific training for our people. But we also inspire and train not only businessmen, but the church leaders. Our bishops are being trained over here and over there. And the first time that they asked us, let us know about a new kind of leadership from the real world. How can the church learn from you? The first time that they asked us, and we are training priests, we are training a lot of people. This year, we trained already 60 priests and bishops. And the challenge that we have is that we need to create a common language. 15 minutes. Oh, I need to speed up. And have a common use of concepts. We need to have a common use of concepts all together. But we are also close to the academy and to the universities. We have specific programs for some of them, studies, documents, and so on. And we are lecturing at university, all of this stuff. How to transform the society. And let's go back to the other pillar. And I'll try to do it faster. I will present you some common good economy frames. In fact, under this, I'm speaking about the social doctrine of the church. But I'm not using that because external people will be not open to that. So I'll take doctrine out, church out, and I'll speak about this common good economy. It will be more understandable. The other topic is about select those topics that your organization would like to address and no one else are addressing. Select that. And we select those topics and I'll speak some more. Okay? This is the common vision and the common framework for a consultant. Top down, we have a vision. We took a look at our financing, about our customers, about our internal process, how to learn and grow, and we go down and we go up. We come back. This is the traditional one. Where are the people here? They are not. So we are reshaping the frames. How? We create a vocation and a personal and a purpose. We have the external common good. How do we create impact in our company externally? How do we protect people dignity, universal destination of goods, solidarity, subsidiarity, and personal and community development and commitment? We are reshaping the models. We are approaching in a different way. And we are calling the companies to think differently. And this is a people-centered management model. When I say we, that does not mean it's specifically just Christians, but outside. Those are Christians. This one is a benefit certification corporation, which is not Christian. But it's a lot aligned. So we need to create an ecosystem of entities where we all together provide and promote the common good. And this is our challenge. Not just by ourselves, alone, closed in our top down. Okay? We can speak later about that. This is another one, which is a purpose-driven business. So there are a blueprint for better business. And the blueprint, where you can find here, or you can send an email to Charles if you want, but here you have all the information that you need. It is centered on the purpose itself, and then look around how to be honest and create confidence and mutual trust relationships with our suppliers and our customers. How to promote a good citizenship of my company. How to create a better future for young people. And let's take a look on what people say about this. We are not putting away profit, but on top of profit, of financial results, we are putting more things. Let's take a look on the... Where is the mouse? I was looking for a video. I do not have a video here. You take a look later. Don't worry. Okay? If you want, we can take a look later. Okay. The other one is about conscious capitalism. This is quite open. Take a look. You can take those concepts and search in the internet. And the conscious capitalism is based on 4 principles, which is stakeholder perspective, and not only shareholder, but all the stakeholders that are involved live with a higher purpose, have a servant leadership focused, and how to promote a different culture. Let me check if we have. Let me check. I have here. Let's take a look on this.
Regent Street, at the heart of London's West End, has for hundreds of years been a centre for businesses trying to turn a profit. Nowadays, companies are increasingly setting wider priorities, including the welfare of their staff, their suppliers, and the planet. But as they rebalance the profit-centred model, what will that mean for their business? John Mackey is the co-founder and co-chief executive of Whole Foods Market, an American food retailer, which in 35 years has gone from a single store in Texas to a chain with 80,000 employees and an annual turnover of $12 billion. But Mr. Mackey is not your average corporate leader. He believes that businesses should pursue more than just their bottom line. They should, as he puts it, have a higher purpose. He's created a movement around this ethos called conscious capitalism.
Conscious capitalism is primarily doing business in a more conscious way. We identify 4 key tenets to it. One, that every business has the potential to have a higher purpose besides only making money. Secondly, that it should create value for all of the interdependent stakeholders, not just the investors, so customers, employees, suppliers, investors. Third, that there's a different type of leadership that's focused on that higher purpose of the business and is serving the stakeholders. And fourth, you have to create a culture in the organization that allows people to flourish, that helps them to reach their higher potentials in life.
Of course, this isn't the first attempt by companies to look beyond their duty to make money for shareholders. Corporate social responsibility has been in vogue for some years. Mr. Mackey, however, sees his particular strain of capitalism as more of a break from many companies' strict focus on profit, although he admits that it isn't an easy model to adapt.
And the profit-centered business model is very simple. It's just, how do we make more money? And to think about fulfilling your higher purpose and making more money is certainly, it's a little more difficult, a little more complex.
It's a big challenge for any business to try and turn a profit and ensure benefits for everyone involved. These problems become even more pronounced as the business grows. Neal's Yard Dairy began its life in 1979 as a small London cheesemaker. It now specialises in selling about 550 tonnes of British and Irish cheeses to the world each year.
A couple of years ago, one of our suppliers got into trouble in terms of the quality of the cheese that they were making. And when we went up to reduce the order, he said, well, who am I supposed to sell it to? At which point we worked out that we were selling roughly 90% of his production. We lent him money. We helped him find an outlet for that cheese. We let the credit against that cheese run for an extremely long time, years. If we hadn't helped him, he would have stopped making cheese, and we would have been down one more territorial cheese.
It cost Neal's Yard.
So I will skip this. You can take a look later because we are short on time. As you can see, their perspective is not to putting profit away, but to improve the business model itself and look outside the boundaries, not just internally, but all the value chain. Okay? Let's go back. So those were the 3 new frames that we can use. For instance, do you know what happened in this one? Vodafone CEO decided to use this frame to reshape their business. And they created a lot of initiatives from this new frame. Because this new frame addresses a lot of questions, remarks, values, and so on, that the traditional business are not addressing. Okay? On-time payments and collection initiative. Portugal is not well developed on this topic. We are 2 times worse than the European average. So we, as a businessman association, decide to take, yes, 5 minutes. I will take 5 minutes from the Q&A, okay? So we decided to use, to launch a new initiative in order to involve all the businessmen and leaders on this, okay? So, my question to you is, identify white spaces where no one is addressing a specific problem of your country that you would like to address and to take on, and to give a different perspective to everybody. This one was one of the topics that we addressed. We started with a study. We are close to the academy, as I said, university. We have a commitment, and then we have an evaluation. What happened to all of these people? And these are some of them. We have 2.6 billion euros delayed. That's a lot of money. It impacts 2% on GDP. It represents 14,000 unemployed people per year. It is 2 times the European average. We have now 1,000 companies that are committed to this, which is 92,000 families, and it represents a short-term financing for the economy. The other topic that we addressed was work-family life balance. Okay, this one, in another study that we did, was selected by young people as the second most relevant topic at work. And then we partner with the Fundación Mais Família, which means More Family Foundation, for a certification. And we have in place a certification for our corporations. Do you know that there's a lot of impact, economic impact on this? Because if we have unbalanced family and work-life balance, it represents a lack or a waste of 20% of talent. How much does it cost to have talent in your companies? And 70% impacts on women. And this is a significant result. Again, we are speaking about talent retention. We are speaking about happiness at work. We look that happy people are more productive, with better results, with lower costs. And we use family as a stakeholder. This is all about people dignity. Okay? Poverty spotlight. I will not share the videos on this, but what happens here is that in Paraguay, there's a new organization connected to UNIAPAC that works to identify this. This is something led by business leaders. Identify the causes of family poverty and the problems related to. And successfully, they motivate families to adopt specific behaviors. So personal responsibility comes every time before social responsibility or financial responsibility, and they overcome their unique challenges. I have the video. I will skip this one because Kaya would kill me. And if you want to take a look on the newspaper, you look here. Martin Burton wrote about it. Okay. And I finalize with Nogwog. Never forget this. Nogwog. Nogwog means no greatness without goodness. No greatness without goodness. And I recommend you to read this Vice President of Walgreens, Randy Lewis. And he wrote a book called Our Father Love, Change a Company and Sparked a Movement. He worked for inclusion. What you will see, it looks like a miracle. but it is not. And it has economic value, social value, and significant inclusion. So let's take a look on how he promotes logistics centers in the value chain of Walgreens with 40% handicapped people. 40% handicapped people.
Every box that's open, every button that's pressed, and every crick that's sorted, employees at this Walgreens distribution center in Windsor, Connecticut are breaking down barriers. Just ask Julie Williard.
It's my dream to work here. And it's okay to be yourself. And it's okay to be that. And it's okay to have disabilities while you work.
More than 40% of the people working here report having a disability.
When you have autism like I have, it's tough to overcome it when you work, and when you get better at it, then you pick up the pace and go from there.
I made a seizure to cause me to fall backward.
This is something that you think has held you back in the past.
Yes, it has.
The thing that makes this building different is that people are accepted. Everyone is working right next to each other. 80% of this department is people with disabilities, and you really can't tell one from the other.
And that's the point. Did this idea also come out of something personal in your life?
Certainly. I mean, I have a son with autism who is now 23.
For Walgreens' Randy Lewis, what began as an experiment has been a revelation for the company, which now plans to introduce Lewis's program in its retail stores.
We sell people with disabilities short. We think their abilities are like this. What we found is they're much broader.
Equality is at the core of Walgreens' inclusive hiring policy. Equal pay, equal work, and equal expectations, sometimes with a little help to make sure everyone can meet those expectations.
If you look up here at this workstation, we have a picture of a cow. So this whole department is called the zoo. This is station 11, but if I don't know numbers, 11 doesn't mean anything to me. So we name it the cow station as well.
The special accommodations cost the company less than $25 per worker. And Lewis says workers with disabilities have fewer workplace accidents, lower absenteeism, and lower turnover than people without disabilities.
It's the people without disabilities who realize that we are community, that we're part of something bigger. Yes, we're Catholics and we have to serve our shareholders, but we have to serve each other in our community.
Allison Cossack, CNN, Windsor, Connecticut.
And the last video. The one element that I have never allowed into my management style, please pay attention about what this man says. We spoke right now, we took a look about disabled people. Now we are speaking about the managers. Take a look on this. They are not getting different wages for these people, and they are getting great results.
The one element that I've never allowed into my management style, nor into any facility that I've ever been into, and that's managing with love, managing with care, managing with a heart. That's the big change here.
It's all about the people.
To manage and be successful in our building, you have to focus on the individual.
Everybody has a different motivator. And it's up to me to define what that motivator is.
Takes a lot of creativity and to come in with no fear.
I am allowed to be creative with the team members. That it's not a hardline stance to where either you get it or you don't get it. It's an opportunity to see what the issue is and work with that team member.
That relationship that you make with an individual, whether they have a disability or not, may ain't too great to say it.
We are very focused in this building on making folks successful.
As far as the key indicators that we look at for safety and productivity, we are the number one in our division.
We started each day as one. When Daryl made production, we all made production. When Melissa did excellent at accuracy, we all did excellent with accuracy. When John worked safely, we all worked safely.
It changes the whole culture of the building. You will have a team that thinks about other people before they think about themselves.
We know it.
It's made me a better manager. It's made me a better man. It's made me a better father and a better husband.
I'm a better leader because of it. I got more compassion, got more patience, which has not always been a strong suit of mine. I see folks for who they are now, as opposed to who they look like.
So as a conclusion, we are called to live creating value. Our KPIs are not just about performance, are about performance, key performance indicator, key people indicator, key purpose indicator, key progression indicator. 4 of them. Or we can put instead of I indicator as impact, key people impact, key purpose impact. And we are called to that, to live with a sense of mission. And there are no gray areas, there are no excuses. We have more than we need, and we need to find out our work. Worldly leaders, as you can see here, pressure weakens them. Godly leaders, pressure strengthens them. In the world, prioritizing profits over principles. Godly leaders prioritizing principles over profits. And so on and so on. As you can see, there are a lot of differences. For the business rules, we are looked to achieve results. God's principle is to serve a purpose. What can I get? Instead, how can I give? Our success in the world is dollars. Our success is the significance, the purpose, the people. In the world, we work to please people. Godly people work to please God. They have fear of unknown. We are living with hope. Leadership is being first. Leadership is being last. And so on, and so on, and so on. So, thank you very much. We have no time for the survey. And I finish with this sentence from John Green. People were created to be loved, and things were created to be used. The reason why the world is in chaos is because things are being loved and people are being used. Thank you very much.